morning and hello, Professor Dr. Casey Chan and friends. Today me, Audi Chandra, a final year student in International Business Management major in Petra University, is going to present to you basically about me, myself, and what have I done, and basically what is my plan in the future. But first, before I gonna present to you about that, I'm gonna introduce my team and why we, all of us, require to do this video project.
So in IBM, you are taught by Professor Dr. Casey Chan in many subjects, and this is my team, Magnate. This team picture is taken at the end of my second year. Yeah, I'm at the left side of this picture. There. Professor Dr. Casey Chan's subject require all of the IBM students to form a team of 8 members, and this is my team. And this video is one of the Professor Dr. Casey Chan tests. Let's move on to the framework that I will use today in this video, which is the House of Leadership. This framework is designed how well I will fare in trying to achieving my goals that I set, which is the roof in the house, and my core competence, which is the foundation of the house, and the 3 pillars that supported the roof: holistic thinking experiences, system thinking experiences, and critical thinking experiences. I will analyze myself with this framework, and let's start with the first part, which is my core competencies. Core competencies, we will use the framework of self-awareness with 5 types of personality tests, and let's start with the first part of the self-awareness framework, which is my individual competence. My individual competence will be measured with these 3 personality tests: learning style, entrepreneurship GET test, and Big 5 personality test. In learning style, these are my score. Starting from the highest, at Reflector I got 17, Pragmatist 15, Theorist 14, and Activist 9. The result is that I'm a big picture guy that loves to put things into practice by putting together all necessary information. At the next test, which is the Entrepreneurship GET test, that test entrepreneurship, I got 8 at Need for Achievement, 3 for Autonomy, 10 for Creative Tendency, 9 for Calculated Risk-Taking, and 5 for Productivity, and 4 for Independence, which comes to conclusion of 39 out of 54 total with this description. Imaginative and innovative with cost versus benefit mindset that have strong initiative as entrepreneur. And let's move on to the next part, which is the Big 5 personality test. So 22 in extroversion, 31 in agreeableness, 23 in conscientiousness, 15 in neuroticism, and 36 in openness to experience. So it concludes that I am an adaptable, respectful, and hardworking guy that is strong mentally and open to new experiences. And now we move on to team capacity, which will be measured with Belbin's 9 team roles. So in the Belbin 9 team roles, these are my score in each part, and this is the summary with the highest are shaper, implementer, resource investigator, and thinker innovator, while the lowest is that complete finisher and monitor evaluator. So it concludes here that my role in team is that I'm a problem solver that is communicative and found drive in challenge, while also practical. So now we move on to the final part, which is the organizational capability. So in the organizational capability, we're going to assess ourselves with leadership self-assessment. So now this is my result, and this is my summary. My result, actually most of it is like balance capabilities in each function, but the most like capabilities is actually located in people engagement.
Okay, so now after knowing my core competencies, now let's move on to the next part, which is my goal. What do I want to achieve with my core competencies? Okay, so
now moving on to the goals. So in goals, I'm going to use this timeline framework to explain about my goals in the short term, medium term, long term, and also longer term. Okay, let's start with the short term goal first within 1 year. There are two goals. First is to establish my experience as financial analyst at PT Corpus Prima Mandiri. And second, to establish the groundwork of my technology startups called Easy Booking. These short-term goals are my passion, which is why I would like to have practical experience by working in these two areas. Move on to the medium-term goal, which is master degree, which is actually conditional. I will decide later on 3 years from now whether I will take master degree or not after I work. Even if I take master degree, it will be either finance and technology. Next is my long-term goals in 5 years, which is to take a CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst certification. Unlike my 3 years goal, this certification is a requirement for me since I have passion in finance field. During this year as well, I hope that my tech startup is already well established in 5 years. Next is my ultimate goal, which is to establish an entrepreneurship incubator, which is I believe that is the hardest challenge in my goals. And I also personally believe that this goal is actually not enough to be realized after 10 years from now on. But of course, I will try to reach this goal.
okay, so after seeing my goals, next we're gonna see what have I done in order to achieve that goal and analyze it. How much further currently me to
Now we reach the 3 pillars part in the House of Leadership, which is the 3 experience that I have learned from Professor Dr. Casey Chan: holistic thinking, system thinking, and critical thinking. Let's move on to the first part of the pillar, which is the holistic thinking experience. In the holistic thinking experience, that I will put my experience as a president of IBM Student Council. And why is that? Because you need to be able to put all the elements into one big picture, which is why I choose this experience. This is the graduate version of my IBM Student Council member, and these members are my members that I lead during my era. Yes, I'm the one at the very top, at the middle, wearing the red shirt. Thank you. So, I will explain why this can become the holistic thinking experiences by using this framework of the concept diagram. So, in the purpose of IBM Student Council is to create a working life simulation for the members and for all IBM students. With the framework of IBM blueprints, IBM Student Council blueprints that has been passed on from previous generation to next generations, we have a balanced scorecard that acts as our guidance. The application here are the IBM Student Council event that help the IBM major. In people, the people is the IBM major that include into IBM lecturers, staff, and students. The tool is the IBM Student Council guideline that have been passed through from previous generation into the next generation as well. The process is the supervision and evaluation of the members that is done by the steering committee, which is the executive member. All of this resulting in the coherent strategy, which is the new IBM Student Council CSI, Critical Sincere Evaluation, the new brand of IBM Student Council as the coherent strategy. This is the end of my IBM Student Council era pictures, and the next IBM Student Council, and I believe that this is enough holistic thinking experience as you need to put all of the elements in order to create a strong organization. So now we're moving on to the system thinking experiences. In system thinking, you need to be able to work the order of the process thinking correctly to be able to reach the effective and efficient result. So I will derive this from my experience in my last internship at PT Corpus Prima Mandiri as financial analyst. Financial analyst job task is to supervise the finance of the client in order to ensure that their business is visible through financial projections, which is why I will use this framework: input, process, output, and then control. So, the input is that the client financial data such as the client income statement and balance sheet. In the process, we the financial analyst performing due diligence on the clients, company, and factories to see their production and whether it's already matched or not with clients' financial data. After we perform the due diligence, we created the financial projection and target for the companies to fulfill, which is the output then times 2 times we will perform presentations and supervisions in order to see if the client already fulfilled the targets that we have set for them or not. By using this framework, I managed to have a good performance in my last internship as a financial analyst in PT Corpus Mandiri. Yep, that's me in the middle. And now, so we're moving on to the final part, which is the critical thinking experiences. So what is a critical thinking? Critical thinking is the ability to think logically and rationally to solve problems. And I believe that my experience in the Harvard project for ASEAN and international relations as a corporate leadership delegates is actually related with critical thinking as I face the competitions there. So in order to explain more what is the critical thinking and how is this experience become a critical thinking, I will use these frameworks of 6A. So now in awareness, actually the case that I got from the competition is the Ayala conglomerate portfolio study case. And then in this portfolio study case, you are given options. Is it already sufficient, or is it you need to change more, or you need to cut the ones that you already have? That's the option, and I need to aware about the option first in the awareness, and then moving on to the alignment. So at the alignment, we first need to know that whether the industry is in the Philippines is good or enough for Ayala Corporation conglomerate, which is why we do conduct a study about Philippines industry backgrounds. And then in the action, I decide to choose the conglomerate diversification strategy because I believe as a conglomerate, Ayala has enough leverage and technology in order to diversify their industry portfolio, and I believe it is a greater good as well if they can manage to use their resources to leverage and to grab many things through a diversification strategy. And then in the adoption, I believe that the Ayala should have a clear and also emphasis on the healthcare industry in the Philippines, especially in the technology, since the technology in the Ayala Corporation conglomerate is, I believe, is like the best. And the e-commerce as well, because currently Philippines e-commerce still has not grown well, and I believe that Ayala can grab this unreached market that previously hasn't been reached by many people. And then in the assurance, Ayala Corporation conglomerate already have the sufficient technology to support the healthcare, but I believe they still don't have supporting industries for supporting the e-commerce, which is why I believe they should acquire the supporting industry for the e-commerce, for example, digital credits such as Bitcoin. I believe Bitcoin will become a trend or central credit later in the future. And then finally, for the anticipation, Ayala vision is to actually not only to help their fellow Philippines, but also they want to support the government as well. And then for that, which is why I recommend as well to increase the logistic and transportation capabilities in the Philippines, as I believe that in my research that Philippines logistic and transportation is not very good, and I believe by solving this problem, Ayala can actually reach to an even greater industries. And this is the main problem in that Ayala Corporation conglomerate needs to anticipate before they can actually diversify their portfolio. Well, even though I'm already spouted all of that, I did not really win any prize. Well, I still managed to get to the second prize with me and my... So actually, after knowing about all of the items and pillars, the foundation and the roofs inside the house, I believe that the house is currently still imperfect, as actually this house actually needs to have many things: bigger foundation, pillar, in order to reach the bigger goals that I have actually set. The goals in the house the roof is actually bigger than I expected, but I believe by creating more powerful pillars and gaining more foundations, I believe that I can reach the goals no matter how big it is. Well, still, even though this is still a long journey, I will get going there. After all my journey in IBM, I'm finally here at the end of my journey, along with my team in IBM. The journey was not easy, but I got friends and my team backing me up in the past, and I believe they will also back me up again in the future.
Thank you guys and Professor Dr. Casey Chan for watching this video. So we have reached end. I hope that this video can become maybe inspiration or guidance toward your goals or whatever you're trying to achieve right now. And I hope that your goals can be reached